The African Union, founded under the leadership of the ANC just over 2 decades ago, is now not only abandoning the party, but actively boycotting the ANC. Former ANC leaders spent decades presenting the party as the authentic voice of Africa on the continent. Pan-African solidarity was one of the movement's greatest political assets. For generations, the ANC built their legitimacy on the claim that it stood shoulder to shoulder with the rest of Africa against oppression, colonialism and isolation. But now, for the very first time since '94, we are seeing clear signs that Africa is increasingly viewing the South African government as a problem and a liability that needs to be dealt with. But how did this come to be and where did it start? Well, let's take a step back. Yesterday, South Africa celebrated Africa Day by hosting celebrations at the Moruleng Stadium, located in a village by the same name on the eastern edge of the Pilanesberg Mountains. The event, organized by the South African Department of Sport, Arts and Agriculture, was organized under the theme Building a Better Africa and a Better World. The keynote address was delivered by Minister Gayton McKenzie. But what was supposed to be a show of African unity and solidarity turned out to be a complete fiasco and a diplomatic embarrassment for the South African government under Cyril Ramaphosa, as the guests of honor announced that they would not be showing up. But why would these guests of honor, these leaders from all over Africa, boycott this event hosted by South Africa? Stay tuned, because in today's video I'm going to highlight how this latest move by the rest of Africa exemplifies just how isolated and alone the ANC truly became. Africa Day is celebrated annually on the 25th of May and commemorates the foundation of the Organization for African Unity, which was founded on the 25th of May 1963 in the Ethiopian capital of Addis Ababa. At the time, the organization was founded to encourage political and economic integration among its various African member states, and to eradicate all forms of colonialism on the African continent. South Africa formally joined the organization in May 1994, just after the ANC took power in this country. This made Morocco the only country on the continent not to be a member. Thabo Mbeki became the first South African head of state to also chair the Organization for African Unity, and under his leadership the organization was formally dissolved and replaced by the African Union at the 2002 Durban Summit in South Africa. The African Union as it exists today was thereby effectively founded by an ANC president. One of the key distinctives of this new organization was also that it would be more ideologically aligned with the views of the ANC and its allies, including its particular interpretation of governance, democracy and human rights. Whereas the Organization of African Unity had more of a non-interventionist approach, the African Union would adhere to a distinct ideology of Pan-Africanism. But now, the very organization founded under the leadership of the ANC and an ANC president is actively turning against this party and the South African government. In the run-up to yesterday's official Africa Day celebrations at the Moruleng Stadium, African ambassadors and high commissioners accredited to South Africa with one voice announced that they would not be attending the very celebrations where they were supposed to be welcomed as the guests of honor. And the result was that Minister Gayton McKenzie delivered a speech that was supposed to promote and celebrate African unity, but the notable absentees in the audience exemplified the exact opposite. One can only speculate, but it is certainly plausible that the GNU government's decision to appoint Gayton McKenzie as the keynote speaker for this particular Africa Day event may have backfired politically. The irony is difficult to ignore. The reported reason for the boycott by several African representatives from different countries was precisely a growing concern over xenophobia and anti-immigrant sentiment in South Africa. And this is something Mackenzie's own Patriotic Alliance in particular has been accused of. Watch this.
I don't know why people are surprised. Because when we started our campaign 2 years ago, that's what we said on this very show, that we want illegal foreigners to go. But they didn't even think we were going to make it. Now that we've made it big, they want to have a noise. We are saying the police are there to control any violence that might break out. We are not going to sit back and fear violence, but while violence of hunger, violence of joblessness are visiting South Africans. We are very clear. 100% jobs in South Africa should be reserved for South Africans.
In 2024, Justice Mackenzie was appointed by Ramaphosa as the new GNU Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. The Zimbabwean Association of South Africa, known as ZEFA, launched a criminal complaint against Mackenzie, even claiming his rhetoric incited not only violence of foreign nationals, but the murder of foreign nationals in South Africa. Over the past year or so, we've reported multiple times on this channel that the ANC is steadily running out of international friends. From the Irish left to the Maduro regime in Venezuela, as well as the execution of the man Nelson Mandela once described as his leader, the Ayatollah of Iran. But what makes these most recent developments on African soil so remarkable is that the closest allies of the ANC and those countries that stood by them throughout their so-called struggle against apartheid and throughout their first 3 decades in power here in South Africa are now abandoning the party in droves. And it's not just that they are withdrawing their active support for the ANC, they are now openly boycotting events by the ANC. And what we are witnessing is something that for years would have been regarded as unthinkable. Africa uniting against the ANC. What makes this even more humiliating for the ANC is that these are not Western governments or traditional geopolitical rivals applying pressure. These are African governments and African diplomats, the very bloc that once formed the ANC's moral and diplomatic shield on the international stage. During apartheid, the ANC repeatedly appealed to the Pan-African solidarity and continental unity. Today, however, that very same bloc is increasingly viewing Ramaphosa's government as a destabilizing liability for Africa. Funnily enough, all of this is due to the fact that the ANC cannot take a stance on immigration. The populace does not want illegal immigrants or immigrants at all from other African countries for that matter in this country, while the ANC tries to appease these individuals while still trying to maintain this Pan-Africanist image of theirs where they basically say that all immigrants or all Africans must be welcome here in South Africa. The reality is, of course, that the resources within this country is simply not enough to maintain this massive droves of foreigners coming into this country, while at the same time keeping bread on the tables of South African citizens. This, of course, makes the South African citizens extremely angry at the foreigners, not the ANC, who mess up the economy for them. Yet, the ANC is also the party that is flooding our country with illegal immigrants through their lax border control policy, which creates more and more xenophobia and hatred because of the fact that there are so many illegal immigrants now in South Africa. The ANC is losing on both sides. In a recent video, we covered a highly interesting story in which a senior African Union envoy and ambassador to the United States called for South Africa to break up into ethno-cultural homelands. He said that South Africa as such a multicultural state cannot go on and needs to break up in order to keep the peace. Check out that a very interesting report and analysis by clicking on this link appearing on your screen right now. And do support the hard work we do here at the Willem Petzer Group by becoming a paying member and helping us pay everyone's salaries, working hard to produce high quality daily videos such as these every single day. You can do so by simply following these easy steps on the banner at the bottom of your screen. Goodbye and God bless.